Hello, today's video is going to be called 10 Novels to Know Me, Get to Know Romance Reader. The first novel that is similar to me is called Where You See Yourself, and it's about this girl who is a senior in high school and has cerebral palsy, and she is trying to find the perfect college that can accommodate her wheelchair since she uses a wheelchair to get around. I loved it. It was 5 stars. The next book I want to talk about is Only When It's Us, and it's the first book in the Berkman Brothers series, and it's about Willa and Ryder. They are both in college. They are both freshmen. They both are in a math class together, and the professor pairs them up, and Ryder is hard of hearing, and they slowly fall in love, and it's a very, very good book in the first of a series. The next book I want to talk about is called Everything for You, which is the 5th book in the series. Oliver has anxiety, which I relate to a lot, and Gavin has chronic pain, which I related to in so many different ways because I have chronic pain, and chronic pain is not fun, and I related especially when he had to use a shower chair or where he needed extra assistance due to his pain being very bad and debilitating, so he had to ask Oliver for help. And I relate to that because I sometimes need help with things, especially when my chronic pain is in a very bad flare-up. The next book I want to talk about is called Stars in Your Eyes, and it's about these two men who they are both movie stars, and they both have a lot of trauma in their pasts, and they both have a lot of stuff they have to work through, and they slowly fall in love, and it was so good. I loved the sound effects of the book. It was so cool. I loved it. 5 stars. The 4th book is called Rules for Rule Breaking, and it was about these two Chinese teenagers. They both were touring colleges, and it's enemies to lovers, and they hate each other at first, but they slowly start falling in love with one another, and it was so good. I loved it. The next book I loved that has me in it is called Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. One of the main characters deals with anxiety, and Sadie helps him with him getting back to the ice with hockey, having different playlists, and Reese, in return, helps her with her siblings and other stuff, and they slowly fall in love, and they are in college, and it was a really good read. I loved it. It was 5 stars. The next book is called Somewhere Between Bitter and Sweet, and it was about these two teenagers. They are both Mexican American. They both work at a family restaurant, and it was really, really good, but there are some parts that are emotional as well, and it was 5 stars. I loved it so much. I may reread it. I haven't, but yeah. The next book is called In the Family, and it's about this girl named Aaliyah, I believe, and she is visually impaired, and she goes to a high school that has dorms and stuff, and it's her second to last year there, and she meets a young man who is in her grade level, and they slowly fall in love, and it's a really, really good read, but some parts of it are very emotional as well. The next book is called Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I loved it. This book is about a 10-year-old boy who has Treacher-Collins syndrome, which is basically a facial difference, and it's his journey going to 5th grade, since pretty much he was homeschooled for the majority of his life, and he had a lot of surgeries, and yeah. The next book is called Out of My Mind, and it's about this girl who is in 5th grade, and her name is Melody, and she has cerebral palsy, and she uses a wheelchair, and she is nonverbal, and it's her journey throughout her 5th grade, and there's some parts that were really, really emotional as well, but I loved it. It was a really good read. And the sequel, Out of My Heart, is really, really good too. The next book I want to talk about is called Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young, and it is about this woman who gets a call from the hospital basically saying that her mother had a baby, and it's her sister, and she is a premature baby, and she has to basically have custody of her, and she basically has to team up with someone else who wants to adopt his 15-year-old brother who is deaf, and they both have to work with each other, and they both have to live in the same place in order to get custody of their siblings. And those are all of the books that remind me of me, and yeah.
Done. Dimmed. Done. Pause.